Forbes is back at it again with more FUD about AMC.
And you just said that on camera. This going viral.
I just want to thank all my new subscribers. Thank you so much for helping me pass 100. If you haven't subscribed, hopefully I can earn it today. Ape Nation, before we get started, if you guys can just take a second to either like the video or subscribe to the channel. YouTube creators out there, the smaller channels, we're trying to push out this information. We're trying to send this stock to the moon. We're all AMC investors just like you guys. That will help the YouTube algorithm and more people will get to see it. And hopefully that will be the FOMO that we need to squeeze. And to everyone who has already subscribed and liked and commented, thank you guys so much. I appreciate all of you. All right, Ape Nation, let's get into this. Today, AMC was green again. We were up at close at $59.04, up another $2.04 and 3.58%. Our volume went down a little bit today. We came down from 298 to 281, but that's okay. I'll take the 3%. I'll take the 3% raise any day. I'm not that concerned about the volume. Couple other things. GME took a little bit of a dive today. I don't know why. Interesting, but yeah, it looks like maybe they're focusing right now on GME, trying to kill the momentum for GME. But a good day overall for AMC today. I mean, we have no reasons that we can complain about nothing. There was a couple things I want to get to. There was an article by Forbes, actually two articles by Forbes I want to talk about. I want to talk about Treys' interview really quickly. We'll take a quick peek at what's going on after market, and also we'll look forward to tomorrow. So Forbes magazine put out two articles today. One was actually talking about Trey. And by the way, shout out to Trey because I know he was in the military. I've known that for a long time. But he's kind of kept it low-key about his job and everything, so I've never mentioned it before. But now that's out in the open. Shout out to Trey for serving the country. We appreciate you watching our backs, having our six in the stock market and in the real world. So, Forbes magazine, this article, and it was brought to my attention by one of my subscribers about AMC is the best performing stock in America. Don't buy it. Stephen McBride wrote this article, and he went on to basically talk about all the things that we have been saying for months are reasons that you can't take seriously when it comes to AMC. He goes into the fundamentals, but think about how much better the fundamentals are right now. How much money they've created and that we've created with this stock for Aaron Adam and the company for him to cash in and get rid of all of that debt or a big chunk of it, right? $2 billion is a lot of money they've raised in the last 6 months to take care of some of this debt. And he talks about in the article that, you know, even though the movies are doing well, they're still dead no matter what because of streaming. Well, guy, we've had streaming now for what? How long has Netflix been around? At least 5, 6, 7 years, maybe more. And A Quiet Place 2 just broke $100 million this weekend after two or 3 weeks of release. And we got F9 coming up next weekend, which I still say, I mean, my take on it is F9 will be the first $100 million opening weekend in the movies since the pandemic. That's going to be my guess. I'm going to make that prediction now that will be the first $100 million opening weekend, and that will create some more FOMO for AMC. Hopefully it will. But, you know, he goes into all those things but doesn't talk at all about the FTDs, the synthetic shares, the naked shorts, the manipulation, the FUD, the bots, the shills. He doesn't talk about any of that. This is strictly based on fundamentals. And I'll give him credit where credit is due because I went back and read some of his other articles, and he's really big into like disruptors in the market. And he was saying that GME and AMC are not disruptors, which I agree with him on that. That's true. AMC and GME aren't disruptors. But this is a play on a short squeeze, buddy. Like, and anyone who's this deep in and doesn't know that has a problem. Why are you writing for Forbes magazine if you can't even state the simple facts and make the case for why the stock is up 2,000% since January 1st? All right, next. So on Fox Business today, Charles Payne had on former Calgary Flame Larry McDonald to talk. Oh no, I'm sorry, my mistake. That was Trey Collins. He had Trey Collins from Treys on, and I think Charles brought out an excellent point at the beginning of this interview, saying that no one is talking about AMC anymore, and we're only at the $60 mark right now, and not a peep out of Wall Street or the media, except for Charles Payne.
Well, the financial media are not talking about those Reddit stocks as much as they used to these days. Maybe a shot or a barb here or there. Probably they're waiting for the big pullback, right? The big crash to get back on their high horses and start wagging their fingers. Of course, it could be a real long wait if they're waiting for AMC to derail. That stock remains a juggernaut, and one of the heroes of the AMC ape community is gaining even more stature. Joining me now from Treys Trades on YouTube, Trey Collins. And Trey, first I got to say congratulations, my man. I just read an article about you in Forbes, and I'm even more impressed because there are certain things I didn't know. You're in the Army, you're an Army officer, obviously self-taught, you got a hell of a work ethic. If you can, let's just share with the audience, just how you became so big on YouTube, I know it's over 330,000 subscribers.
Hey, Charles. Well, first off, thanks again for having me on. It's always an absolute pleasure to speak with who I consider to be one of the best in the financial media. I think, to be completely frank, I'm just a regular everyday guy on the street. And I think people really appreciate that because it shows that you can be some Joe or some Sally on the street and come on to the market and really learn what's actually happening here, figure out the inner plumbings and mechanisms that allow people to make money. So, I think if there's anything that separates, what I do from maybe somebody else, it's just that I am just a regular guy. I'm not going to pretend like I'm anything else. So that's honestly what I contribute to, where we've gone. And I'm excited for what's to come, right. Not just for the channel, but for the people. It's really awesome to hear some stories.
Yeah, and of course the article talks about your long-term goal, right? Because as you learn and you dig deeper and deeper, you educate other investors. That's why you're so popular. One thing that stuck with me when I looked at that, the tweets the last few days that I've seen from you, you talked a lot about the Federal Reserve, the repo program, and things like that. I don't think Wall Street believes that the apes even know anything about that. Why do you think it should matter to individual investors?
I actually had a pretty long phone call with my good friend Matt Coors. You had him on as a guest one time about the repo market, and we kind of came to the same conclusion. I'll quote him here. He said it's kind of like the plumbing in your house. Like, you don't really care about it until something goes wrong, then you really care about it. But essentially, it's just a transaction, right? There's a buyer and there's a seller. So in the repo market, if the feds are doing a repo, it means that essentially you've got banks and you've got the feds. And a reverse repo would be the exact opposite. So a repo is kind of loosening up the economy, right? It's giving cash to banks so that you can kind of, lower some interest rates, kind of combat some inflation, really get the economy moving. This happened back in March of 2020 so that you didn't have, the entire economy crash. Now, fast forward to where we are now, right? You've got reverse repos, which are happening. And just looking at what we've got right now, according to fred.stlouisfed.org, on June 14th, it hit $583 billion, which is a huge amount of reverse repo. And this is the exact opposite, right? So this is essentially, you've got treasury bills and you've got cash, and you're essentially swapping places. So the banks are giving back money and the feds are giving back these treasury bills, and that tightens up the economy, right? So it's going to raise interest rates, raises inflation, and these sort of things all affect the grand scheme of the stock market. And that's why it's important, because it directly applies to exactly what people are investing in.
Right. Trey, I got a minute to go. AMC has just been mind-boggling. The old saying is, hey, it can't go on forever. I would suspect that the short sellers are going to take another shot at the diamond hands and test them one more time. What are you doing to brace for that move? What's the resolve of the apes looking like?
I like that question, and I've got something that I would say to short sellers. I'll say this. It doesn't matter if people think you're right. You just have to be right. That's how the stock market works. There's somebody that's right and there's somebody that's wrong. I like to think that the apes are the ones that are going to be right, and I think the apes think that too, and that's what I have to say about that.
So Trey went on, killed it again, as usual. The dude is just amazing. He's phenomenal at what he does. He's getting so much better with the media, and he's making us all look good. I mean, you can call us dumb money and apes all you want, but with Trey leading the charge here, I mean, he's just, the kid was just built for it. So congrats to him again for getting on Fox Business, keeping the momentum alive. We need the FOMO. We need the media to stay on top of this. We can't let it fade into history. One more thing I just want to point out to you guys right here. This is obviously from YouTube. Apes Together Strong filmmakers. Charles Payne had them on yesterday talking about the Reddit investors, how they're doing a movie about all of us. Go check out that video if you have a chance. Real check, we'll just quick the market real quick. We're at 48.45 right now in after hours. And yeah, we're down about 1% after hours, but always take that with a grain of salt. All right, you guys, that's all I got for today. I'll be back with you guys in the morning for pre-market as always. So if you could like the video, subscribe to the channel. That's all I really want from you guys. And buy and hold AMC stock. This is Ape Nation. I'm the Massalorian, and I'm out.